Yeah, let's play them some music.
Okay, ich bin gefahren Canades. I went to Odessa to buy oranges to heal myself appropriately and to do all kinds of stuff that rhymes in Yiddish.
Bin gefahren Canades, letzten Himazoles, Chai viel Zakkusil, Beglat mit Basoles.
Bin gefahren Canades, letzten Himazoles, Chai viel Zakkusil, Beglat mit Basoles.
Bin gefahren Canades, zu der SCoJeC, Chai viel Zakkusil, der Moldebanke.
bin gefahren Canades, Koffin Pomaranis, bin geschnitten an Assanjena Benfans. Hoi heiße Day, kalte Day, Heiglach mit
Basoles,
alle Scheine Leila
von Miseroles.
Hoi heiße Day, kalte Day, Heiglach mit Reisen.
Der muss doch nicht schlecht nicht, der verliert die Beute. Bin gefahren, keiner weiß, zu der SCoJeC, Chai viel Zakkusil, der Moldebanke.
Ich bin gefahren Canades auf der Moldavanke und gerade dort sind die Tage Aujanke. Hoi heiße Day, kalte Day, Egglach mit
Basoles,
alle Scheine Leila
von Miseroles. Heiße Day, kalte Day, Weckerlach mit Reisen. Der das Rücken schlägt es nicht, der verliert die Beute.
Oi leva siak, oi firma in Amerika, sposti ganzen Napital.
Oi, lebasiam, oi, firma in Amerika, das kostet ganze Navidad.
SCoJeC Klezmer noch einmal, die Weiden spielt, wir bin im Spiel.
Ai, 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 opsa, трича сады, мама тройку родила, и мама записалась в комсомол. Опса, трича сады, мама тройку родила, и мама записалась в комсомол. Ой, мама моя местный, в СССР известный, и мама записалась в комсомол.
Ой, мама моя, мы с ней в СССР известны, и мама записалась в комсомол.
Ай, SCoJeC Klezmer на холму, ты пойму, первый шпиком. Ай-яй-яй, опша, 3 часа, ты мама тройку родила, ты мама записалась в комсомол. Ай-яй-яй, опша, 3 часа, ты мама тройку родила, ты мама записалась в комсомол.
Gefunden.
You can clap. Just
¡Órale! Queridos amigos, muy buenas tardes.
no, that's amazing.
Bienvenidos.
Great. Okay. Wow.
No, was hat men nog? What else do we?
What else do we have?
Next.
Well, what are we gonna do? So, everyone's going clap, clap, clap. Oh, that's so nice. Everybody's clapping. Thank you.
It's the sound of one hand washing.
Well, so we have been working on this program of traditional songs and fiddle tunes and that kind of music.
Yiddish, East European Jewish music,
Yeah.
for anyone that's
Particularly of the folk persuasion as opposed to
Right.
professional or theatrical.
right, and that's actually, as I've often said in concerts here in Scotland, what we're doing is really the East European Jewish or Yiddish counterpart to the Scottish traditional songs and fiddle tunes and so forth that are really native to where we find ourselves this evening and where I generally find myself in life. And as part of that, we have the following number.
Which is a folk song that I personally learned from a dear friend of all of us, Joshua Letsky. I even think his granddaughter is named Janinka because of this wonderful song. And it's a song about a wonderful girl that like one of my favorite thing about traditional songs is of course that they're all incredibly sad and devastating and everybody dies there. Well, this one is not one of them. This is actually quite a happy song about this wonderful girl that goes around gathering twigs, and this guy sees her and goes, Janinka, you're so wonderful, come with me. And she goes like, I'm not gonna go with you because what are gonna people say if I sit next to you? And he says, what do you care what people say? Run, I'm gonna go catch you, and when I catch you, you're gonna be mine because you're so fine. It's like, basically, and he says that you're so fine, everybody knows it, so because of that, please, Janinka, come and be my bride. He has good intentions. He's a good guy, I think.
An eierliche Bacher.
Ehrliche Bacher.
Good.
Okay.
And we're doing this in a way, an arrangement that, or in a style that Craig and Sasha worked out. Whereas, because as you'll hear, Craig is a formidable exponent of American traditional music and traditional fiddle playing. And we're doing this in the style of a Cajun waltz, which it seemed to fit very nicely to.
It was just a natural thing to do.
Die Sonne in der Feld ist lang vergangen. Die Sonne in der Feld ist lang vergangen. Die Sonne in der Feld ist lang vergangen. Al kommt Janinka kleiden Sahnigen. Kommt Janinka kleiden Sahnigen. Es läuft weg, lieber weg. Es läuft weg, lieber weg. Es läuft weg, lieber weg. Komm, Janinka, setz dich weg. Komm, Janinka, setz dich weg. Menschen sorgen, was Tages dir, was Menschen retten, was Tages dir, was Menschen sorgen. Kom igjen, ikke kveld i fjorden, løp igjen, ikke kveld i fjorden. Dan blijft de mijne. Kan kappen dik, dan blijft de mijne. Kan kappen dik, dan blijft de mijne. Loop je ikke bis de fijne. Loop je ikke bis de fijne. Als die bis de fijne, das weiß alle. Als die bis de fijne, das weiß alle.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
She's a birdie one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while we got these fiddles out, we thought we'd play you an old-timey Yiddish instrumental number. This is a particular kind of doina and honga or so, coming from the playing of Leon All, a wonderful fiddler. And goes something like this.
I'm gonna go sit over there. Oh, this is nice.
That's all, folks.
Well, okay, now that everybody's having fun, and I peeked a little bit at some of the feed. I see like some people even started dancing, which is really nice. So in order for that to stop happening, no, I'm gonna sing you one of them unaccompanied songs. As many of you might know, one of the oldest and most intimate styles of Yiddish song is Yiddish unaccompanied lyric song. And it's really in the past decade is experiencing an incredible rejuvenation with people finally hearing people that have been doing it all their lives, and of course, including Michael, and researching this stuff. It finally is becoming available. I know that Lawrence Klamberg is watching us. Hi, Lauren. Lauren is the sound archivist of YIVO, the Institute for Jiddische Wissenschaftliche Institut, in New York.
YIVO Institute for Jewish Research.
That's what it's called officially in English. Thank you. And they have put out a wonderful online exhibition. Now that everybody is sitting at home, that's another great thing to check out online.
We hope you're sitting at home, actually.
Yes.
We hope you are.
I don't know if this is like, if you're watching this in a sports bar, unless you're by yourself, you're where you shouldn't be.
So, another great thing to explore is the online exhibition called Ruth Rubin Legacy. Ruth Rubin was a fantastic researcher and collector of Yiddish song, and she traveled around the East Coast of the United States in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, recording older people and herself.
And Canada. And Canada.
Oh, Canada.
And Canada. She was from Montreal, so definitely and Canada. And collected over 3,000 songs, and over 2,000 of them are online for you to enjoy. So after this is over, go Google Ruth Rubin Legacy. You can put in YIVO if nothing comes up, but it will come up, and it's amazing. Go check it out.
And support YIVO and the good work they're doing there.
Yes, and YIVO is spelled Y-I-V-O for those that are
Why?
wondering.
Y-I-V-O. Okay. So now that we had all this fun, let me sing you something that ends with people dying. Because, let's face it, a lot of these songs are love songs, and when people have happy loves, they have something better to do than write songs. So most of these songs are about unhappy love.
By the way, it doesn't necessarily end with someone dying. It ends with someone saying they're going to do themselves in.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
That, I mean, threats are
Right,
important part of Jewish culture. Eastern European Jewish culture.
And East European culture, and a lot of human culture, too, for better or for worse.
So this song says, "Oh, mother, I am in love. And from this love, my heart is hurting. Oh, people, open your eyes and you'll see that my heart is black like coal. I went for a walk with my beloved, and you probably know in a folk song, if a couple goes for a walk, I'm happy to educate you if you don't know this. They're not doing the walking. They're just going to some place where they're away from other people's eyes and do other things that people in love tend to do. So I went for a walk with my beloved, and the weather was so cold that I took off my scarf and I gave it to him. And then somehow they got attacked and somebody tried to kill him, and she offered her neck instead. And now he's gone to marry another one. One of the biggest tragedies in traditional Yiddish song that we understand is probably also one of the biggest emotional tragedies in traditional Jewish, Eastern European Jewish life, is the institution of arranged marriage. So most likely he was arranged to marry somebody else. And now he has to go and do it. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna go and stand by her window, and when they break plates as the sign of engagement, when they break plates, I'm gonna kill myself. That's the song. Oi, wei Mame, ich spiele Liebe, und von der Liebe tut mir weh mein Herz. Und von der Liebe tut mir weh mein Herz. Oh, jemand Menschen ihre Augen wird sehen, also wie Kohle schwarz. Oh, jemand Menschen ihre Augen wird sehen, also wie Kohle schwarz. Spazieren bin ich mit mein Geliebten gegangen. Vergangen sind mir in der tiefen Wald. Vergangen sind mir in der tiefen Wald. Oh, wenn man hat ihm gewollt geholfen, hintergestellt, oh, bei ich mein Haus. Oh, wenn man hat ihm gewollt geholfen, hintergestellt, oh, bei ich mein Haus. Spazieren bin ich mit mein Geliebten gegangen. Die Pagode ist gewesen schrecklich kalt. Die Pagode ist gewesen schrecklich kalt. Oh, ja, es geht hin, ob ich mein Seitentichale in sie gebinden, ob ich am sein Holz. Oh, ja, es geht hin, ob ich mein Seitentichale in sie gebinden, ob ich am sein Holz. Euer is weg, ach Hussen werden, stehen will ich hinter ein Fenster bei ihr. Stehen will ich hinter ein Fenster bei ihr. Oh, wenn wir dort Teller brechen, am ansem Moment, weil ich sehe ohne Team. Oi, wenn wir dort Teller brechen, am ansem Moment, weil ich sehe ohne Team. Oto zoi. Dank.
I feel like we should play a quick tune after that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, rather than go right to this.
sure.
Let's do this shtick out there. Play something you love. Could be slow too.
Cool. No.
No?
Yeah. Office?
Whatever. Craig Judelman.
Michael Alpert. Heymisher.
Yeah, yeah. We're, Craig and I are Pacific Coast brothers, actually. Craig grew up in Seattle and I grew up in LA, as many of you know, some of you know. And apropos of that, I'd like to sing a song I wrote, actually, over the course of the last 40 years about my father. And my dad died in 1980. He was actually of a considerably older generation than most of the parents of my contemporaries. He was born in 1906, and he was the youngest in his family. And 2 weeks after his death, I started to write a song about him, and this song. And I got through 2 verses and then decided there's no way I can sum him up easily in a song, especially at this point. And I put the song aside for 38 years and actually didn't even think so much about it. And about 1.5 years ago, a friend reminded me of it, and I was inspired to write it to some kind of conclusion. And the song talks about all the various places that my father and I spent time together. As the song says, my father came from a very small town, a shtetl, Jewish shtetl in Lithuania, in the Russian Empire. And so the song talks about all the places many of the places we spent time together, particularly the time that we spent out in the natural world, in nature, which was very important actually to my father's family, and actually both my parents. And I'm very grateful for them having taken me out into the natural world and encouraged me to be out there. And I've continued to do so all my life, and part of that is living here on the east coast of Scotland. So the song talks about the time we spent together, both in California when I was young, in New England, where I moved to when I was 12, in particular an island in a lake in New Hampshire that my dad and my uncle bought in 1937 for $275. And my family really recreated Lithuania and Russia there in many ways. And then also, ultimately, the song also refers to a lot of the natural world of the sea and birds and the fog here where we live in Crail. So there we go. Let's do it in the different way.
Yeah, the different way.
We gotta tune this guitar.
Yeah, let's do the tuning side.
Pardon us. Yeah, let's tune. Give me something with these. You'll thank us for this.
We tune because we care.
There we go.
Yeah.
of a field by a line of maple trees, glowing red and yellow in the autumn of leaves. Born in an empire at the very edge of time, in a small town in the forest, he came into this world. Wheels of war were turning, fires of change were burning. He sailed away into a distant land. Na 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 na. Heute was je Welt von Eden, noch ein lang weg dem Eden. Wir hatten kam auch dem und sie seine Schöne da. Die Zeit lebt wie ein Häuser weg im tiefen Wald ein. In Skier und da die Felder von Plendicomo. Hoi nimm dir mit dein Hackelschein, dein Tatschkale, Gerät, nimm dir mit die Schivalach, die Kurse, ne die Zwei. Ich dir sein auf Himmel, der Gegen noch nicht noch auf dein weißen Weg, dem Stil wie Schnee. Na 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 in the sighing of the maples, in the murmur of the pines, in the wail of the midnight loon when the glowing moon hangs low, in the ripple of the silent fish that stir the depths below, your fire is in me everywhere I go. When the ice is out in April, you pull the boat up in the cove. Hear the thunder quake on the summer's lake in the August sunset glow. And when December's icy hand lays bare on his grove, your tracks are in the deep and driven snow. Ah, na na na, na na na. Wünsch mir finster in die Egen, wünsch mir richtig in Gedank. Bloß ein Mensch hast du gewesen, dort war ein Mensch heiß dir gestellt. Wenn sich nur auf mir verlassen, deine Meile sein Gedenkheit, und mit Ehrlichkeit sich dir nur erkennt. Now for all the roads we traveled and the ones we didn't go, for all the tears these many years, this twilight song I sing, and when the fog of autumn drifts upon the rocks below, my heart is like a heron on the wing. Yeah. Oh, they're great.
Nice.
Yeah, we do that too.
Thank you, everybody. Yep, we definitely do that too. We're Americans.
American. Yes, American.
Definitely.
It's a good
Hyphenated
song.
Americans. No. Jetzt kommt mir, kommt es mir absingen eine Ballade. Ich würde gewollt hören ein paar Wörter Jiddisch, weil ich bin gewöhnlich ist Jiddisch. Ist eine von den Sprachen, was ich gerät in Stub, ist in der noch alles in Stub, mit wem man redet, heutzutage zum größten Teil mit den Cats. Da in Schottland, ich da in Schottland.
Und mit Schäferlach? Ich habe gesehen, dass der
Mit Schäferlach rede ich echt Jiddisch. Mit Hint rede ich Russisch oder Polish. So what I thought, Yiddish is a language, one of the languages I grew up with in my home and my family. And so, of course, that's why some of the verses in that song were I wrote in Yiddish too. And so, where's everybody going?
I don't know. It seemed like this thing we're doing.
Yeah. So I'd like to sing a ballad now, an old Yiddish ballad, also unaccompanied of just like the unaccompanied Scottish, Irish, English ballads from these isles here. And this is a ballad I know from a wonderful woman I had the honor of spending a lot of time with in the early and really in the 1980s. A woman named Bronya Sakina, who was part of the Soviet Jewish emigration to the U.S. and only came to the U.S. in 1980 and made her home in Brooklyn. She was from a small town, a small shtetl in southwestern Ukraine, and had was a treasure chest of Yiddish folk culture, songs, it's old-time ballads, songs with many more verses than some of the more popular versions we know, songs I and many of us had never heard before, as well, and also dances, and she was a virtuoso, traditional East European Jewish cook. So this is a tale that, again, it comes out of, it's a not entirely tragic tale. It's involved a lot of woe and suffering, but no one dies at the end, at least. But it's the tale of a man who's going begging from town to town, and standing on the street and going from door to door, saying, "Barmteich, liebe Menschen, have pity, good people, and have pity on my poverty, and give me some alms, and God will bless you for that." And a woman comes by or opens her door and says, asks him whether or not, why he's not ashamed to go begging with outstretched hands from door to door. And she asks him one question, which is, there's just one thing I want to know, where's the land of your birth? And he says, the land of my birth was very far away, and I was raised, I grew up in very rich and comfortable circumstances, but through a love affair, I became poor, and now I'm reduced to begging here from you. And so what reveals itself is that she tells him, she recognizes him, and it turns out in the song, this is all implied, that she was once the young woman who he jilted, and like in the ballad that Sasha sang, and presumably because his parents wouldn't let him marry her. He was rich, she was poor. And so that proved his undoing, and in the meantime, she in fact married up and became, however she did it, she became wealthy. And so she asked him to stand by him for a few more moments and let her get over her anger at him. But nonetheless, she says, I'll send out my servant and she'll tell you that this is the way God is repaying you for what you did. And in one of the only examples I know of in traditional song which a man actually apologizes to a woman, he says, your servant doesn't need to tell me anything. I know very well that what happened between us has been my undoing. From my eyes are running rivers of tears when I think about what I did to you. Der Barmtag, meine liebe Menschen, der Barmtag hinter ein Neu, in der Gott sollach, mit Teilem in Git Benschen, der Barmtag in er schenkt a Stückel Bräut. Weil solche schämste sich nicht, gehen so gerissen. Weil solche schämste sich nicht, euch strecken die Hand. Nur das Einzige wollt ihr gewollt wissen. Fim von it ist dein geboren Land. Ach, mein geboren Land ist auch sehr weit. Oyin gezeugen bin ich sehr rach, nur der eine Liebe bin ich verloren geworden. Oyin jetzt gehe ich beten Brot bei, sie hat wie etwas mir schenken, toll ob ich mir weiter gehen, bis wo nicht ich will, du leib Machereien kenn. Sie hat den kann nur nicht gesehen. Ich hab schon lang bei Gott ausgebeten, also fremde Tieren soll ich doch sehen. En als ich hab das nur bei Gott ausgebeten, tot ich noch ein bisschen stehen leben mir. Und ich noch ein bisschen leben mir stehen. En lass mich und dir zu setzen die Goal. Man dient zwei dir, an du war aus der Rugen. Sie wird dir suchen, du soll dir Gott für mir. Ach, euer Dienst, sie darf mir gar nicht suchen, weil ich weiß allein, dass ich komme auf Verrach, für meine Augen gießen Teichen Tränen. Wenn ich der Mann sag, was geht in der Nacht, für meine Augen gießen Teichen Tränen. Wenn ich der Mann sag, was geht in der Nacht. Also.
Oi, Mace.
What a happy culture.
No, I don't know if you heard Craig said what a happy culture. It ain't the only one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
At least we enjoy our suffering, you know.
right.
Actually, speaking of enjoying,
Yeah. Well, we're gonna sing you another song that is actually slightly of a song of enjoyment.
I was going to say a song of pure enjoyment, actually, of
That's true.
uplifting, transcendent enjoyment.
Yeah, and good for these times, I think, when we all need a bit of support and
Are you saying we should all believe in God and that's what's gonna get us?
Who said that?
No. Well, this song in. Yeah. Do you want to?
That's true. Yeah. I've known this song for many, many years. It's a song of the Bobover Chassidim Nachal Glezels would be very appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just finishing what I had. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a song that comes out of the Hasidic or ultra-Orthodox Jewish sect and a dynasty of the Bobover Chassidim. The Chassidim, who are mostly located these days in Brooklyn, but up until the war, the center of Bobover Chassidus, or where Bobover Chassidus was founded, was the very small town, actually really kind of village of Bobov in Yiddish and Bobova in Polish in southern Poland, southeast of Krakow. And we interrupt this introduction to say that
George is here.
unseen by you, no doubt, George, our beautiful tiger tabby, has just entered the room. It being a quiet moment, and there are no jangling instruments that hurt his ears. In any case, so the song is it's very much in the tradition of major key songs sung by Galiciano Chassidim from, in particular, southeastern Poland. And it says it's a wonderful both drinking song among originally in a very male-centered culture, and still to this day quite male-centered culture. It's a song amongst brothers, figuratively. It says brother, brother of my heart, and we've extended it to refer to siblings, sisters, cats, all
Dogs even.
all beings, all sentient beings, and in fact, all beings, whether they're sentient or not. Brother, brother of my heart, I can't take a single step without you. Let people say that I'm drunk, I'm doing just fine. And the chorus in each case is, I can't forget about you. You're better than the best wine. I need no other interests. You're mine and I'm yours, or I'm yours and you're mine.
Yeah.
And the songs, through the words like interests, and there's a mention of science in it, definitely kind of pokes a little more than fun at the enlightened, the 19th century enlightened world of science and so forth. Now, I'm not at all saying that in the Trumpian sense or the Johnsonian sense of we've heard enough from the experts, but there is something deep in it about mysticism and mysticism hanging out and making a l'chaim, having a drink once in a while in moderation.
l'chaim.
L'chaim l'shalom l'maisim tevim, to life, to peace, and to good deeds, and to health, everybody. L'chaim.
Me.
Sing along at home if you know the words.
Even if you don't.
Even if you don't.
Brider, hartsedike. Ich gei und dir kein Schimtrit. Los mir sagen, dass ich bin schicke. Mir is wohl, mir is geht. Ich kann an dir nicht vergessen. Die bist besser wie Gitarre. Ich darf kein anderen Interessen. Die bist mein in Yacht bin
dann. Die gieß Koyach und die gieß Kraft, das hab ich in dir schon lang erkannt. Dem Narr zu geben Wissenschaft, alles ist in deiner Hand. Ich cannot dir nicht vergessen. Die bist besser wie Gitter war. Ich darf kein andere Interessen. Die bist man in ich bin dann.
Als ich hab dich bei mir, ist mir besser wie am Meila.
Malke.
Ich darf kein Wein, ich darf kein Bier. Was ist mir, tu mich freilich. Ich kann an dir nicht vergessen, du bist besser wie Gitter. Ich darf kein andere Interessen, du bist mein, ich bin dann.
Bald in der Frie ganz pagien, als ich öffne nur die Augen, ob ich dir schon lang gesehen, ich wollte schon gern zu dir geflogen. Ich kann dir nicht vergessen, du bist besser wie Gitter. Ich darf kein andere Interessen. Du bist mein, ich bin dann.
Atazai.
Yeah.
Atazai.
Ben C. and Miller, if you're watching out there, actually you're probably not, because I don't think
I don't think it. I think it's still
Shabbos
Shabbos out there.
isn't over in the in North America yet, but yeah, that one's for you.
So this next medley of songs that we're gonna play for you have something to do with different relationships, or like the same relationship, different sides of the experience of being drafted into the army. In Russian Empire in the 19th century, there was a program of drafting Jewish young boys into the army, and it was really very strongly aimed at an attempt to secularize them, or what's the word I'm looking for? Assimilate them, and carry them away from their tradition and their language and their religion.
Which actually, it wasn't true only of Jews, actually. There are a lot of the same songs in Ukrainian and so forth, but of the different nationalities, especially in the western part of the Russian Empire. But yeah,
That's true.
go on.
But these are going to be about the Jewish experience. And this, the first song is a Yiddish song from Ruth Rubin collection, so still remember to go and check out Ruth Rubin, as beautifully sung by Sylvia Ari with a little help of Harry Ari. It says, people, listen carefully what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a story of a soldier's life. And this is me talking. And soldiers were very often considered almost beggars, because they would wind up in these different cities, and they would try to get to a house to celebrate a holiday, because in Jewish tradition it's incredibly important to be at a table for certain kinds of holidays. So once after everybody's coming home from shul, from the synagogue, when one hears a lot of noise and all the streets are full with young soldiers, and they come over to each householder, to each balabos, and they ask, take a soldier for Yontif, take a soldier for a holiday. And this is a city situation, so a lot of people that live there are a little bit more upscale. So one of these, one balabos, Nems, takes a soldier by a hand and lets him stand by the door, and himself he goes to the madame, to the madam, to the balabos, to the Hausfrau. What's
The lady
the
of the
English?
house.
The lady of the house.
Was it passiert?
Are we still there?
Yeah.
Okay, so goes to the lady of the house and says, "I brought you a guest," and she goes like, I know what you mean. Your guests are. It's again probably another soldier for Yontif for Yontif for the meal." And the soldier hears it and he starts crying bitter tears and he says, "People, dear people, hear my cry and understand why I'm crying, because this could happen to your children." And we paired it with a song that is in Russian and based on a Russian traditional tune, in somewhat Russian. I call it Jewish Russian.
Well, isn't it? It's just
Old-fashioned.
Well, also, I mean, the SCoJeC, the mixture of Russian and Ukrainian, that's
Yes,
actually
it's-
spoken by a significant part of the population of Ukraine, or has been for the last probably 100 or close to 200 years.
I'll imagine you know this better than I
No,
do.
no, no. and
No,
this-
seriously.
It's true. It's not.
It's
It's not
true.
only Jewish Russian, but it is in the
It's-
sense that it's full. This is full of Jewish terminology. and so
Exactly.
forth. Go on, давай.
So,
Pardon.
so it's okay. So this is a song that just goes through a day in Jewish life, and this is a song that mothers would sing to their children and teach them before they go to the army, so that they can march to this song and sing all these things as they go through the Jewish day and remember what it means to be a Jewish man in this case. What are all these different things? And all of you who speak a Slavic language can probably follow this quite well. Okay, this is
And some of you who are really clued in will hear the Jewish terms, the Jewish or Yiddish or Ashkenazic Hebrew really terms all mixed in with the Russian.
But we're going to start with the plea of a young soldier in Yiddish. Menschenherz sich ein mit Kopf, was ich will euch erzählen. Ich will euch singen ein Lied von dem Soldatschikos Leben. Euer Sachen, das weiß meine jinge Jahr, als ich darf sein befallener Soldat. Euer Sachen, das weiß meine jinge Jahr, als ich darf sein befallener Soldat. Jontef, als man geht wie in Schiel, hört man ein Jummer Gewein, in alle Gäste doch viel, hört man soldatschiglich stehen, sie jeden Ballerbosen und seht sie gegangen, nehmt Jontef als Soldat. Sie jeden Ballerbosen und seht sie gegangen, nehmt Jontef als Soldat. Der Ballerboss nimmt ihm bei der Hand und lässt ihn stehen bei der Tür. Allein geht rein zu der Madame. Ich hab gebracht a Gast für dir. Oh ja, deine Gesellen mir schon bekannt, aber der Jontef als Soldat. Oh ja, deine Gesellen mir schon bekannt, aber der Jontef als Soldat. Der Soldatschikl, wo steht hinter der Tür, tiet das Anzeiger in die Reit von der jungen Madame. Begießt sich mit blutigen Tränen, ihr Mensch, ihr lieben Menschen, sie weiß, ihre was ist mein Gewinn. Sie weiß, ihr Menschen, ihr lieben Menschen, was von ihre Kinder können noch sein.
Das ist der alte Zures. Part of the reason that I think certainly for Craig and myself and for so many of us who are East European Jewish from out of the Russian Empire, why we weren't born there. As I often say, it's like, you know, the Tsar of Russia the Russian Tsar had everything to do with the fact that my father left Malat and came to Boston in 1912. Okay, anyway, no. Oh, speaking of which, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's all thematically perfect.
All right.
So, this is a song about barricades, barrikaden. And it was the Yiddish. It was written in around 1926 in Vilna, which is the Yiddish name for Vilnius, which is now the capital of Lithuania. What?
I'm talking American.
And it's the you'll hear what it is about. It's about a strike, a very serious workers' action in the kinds of things that were going on all over the world in the 1920s, but not only. And
it's a song about being in the street, which is the opposite of what we're about to all do.
Right,
Let's not do that.
That's true.
This
This is about socialist non-distancing.
It's written by a very important Yiddish songwriter, Shmerke Kocherginsky from Vilna. And he wrote it at a very young age. He wrote it when he was like 15 or 16 something, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And a few years ago I tradapted it, to use the great word that our friend and colleague Daniel Kahn coined for this process of, rather than just translation, tradaptation of traditional songs and just of all kinds of songs from one language and medium into another. So I did an English tradaptation of it, and we'll intermingle the Yiddish original and the English. Also, we'll do it in, as you'll hear, in a version that draws a great deal on music of the Appalachians and the Southern Mountains in the U.S. And, kind of where there certainly was a great deal of labor activism for a lot of the last 120 years, and still continues in some places.
Let's hope so, yeah.
Moms and dads and little kids ain't got enough to eat, ain't got enough to eat. They're all building barricades in the middle of the street. They're all building barricades in the middle of the street. Well, dad's off to the factory, his hands are stained and dirty, his hands are stained and dirty. He's standing in the strike brigade with his 30-30. He's standing in the strike brigade with his 30-30. There won't be any dinner tonight, says Hannah to her brothers, says Hannah to her brothers, cause Mom's off to the strike brigade with all the striking mothers, cause Mom's off to the strike brigade with all the striking mothers. Now tear gas drifts and bullets fly just like a leaden squall, just like a leaden squall. One comes through the window pane, one through the walls. One comes says, kids get them off the floor, kids get them off the floor. When you grab the tabletop, when you take the door. Oh, when you grab the tabletop and when you take the door.
I sjufladen funkar mat, mittan altın fass, mittan altın fass. A barrikader stänger öppen mitten gas, a barrikader stänger öppen mitten gas.
Now, herring barrels and dresser drawers are piled up in the street, are piled up in the street, 'cause people turn to barricades when they ain't got what to eat, 'cause people turn to barricades when they ain't got what to eat.
A barrikader aufgestellt in Stiebel, nicht am Keiner, in Stiebel, nicht am Keiner. Läufen Polizei vorbei, die Kinder warten Steine. Läufen Polizei vorbei, die Kinder warten Steine.
The barricade, it stretches now for blocks and blocks and blocks, for blocks and blocks and blocks. There's cops with tasers running by, kids are throwing rocks. There's cops with tasers running by, kids are throwing rocks.
Maar was er wanneer weet je dat van de diaten is doder naar maten. Kinderlijk van stiebelen, helpen mannen gaten. Kinderlijk van stiebelen, helpen mannen gaten.
Now mom and dad and all the kids and the neighbor Mrs. Johnson and the neighbor Mrs. Johnson are fighting for their heartland rights just like in Wisconsin. Are fighting for their heartland rights just like in Wisconsin. This mama's kinderlag, boy and body cut, boy and body cut.
Op die gasten geen roem, arbeider en triad. Op die gasten geen roem, arbeider en triad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's save that thought for a few months and then
And when we can, let's get out there and do it.
Yeah, right. Do it online. Right. Why don't we do it on the web?
This might be a good time to just briefly mention that part of the reason we're all here, besides sort of the obvious other reasons, is that we were meant to be doing a tour and actually a wonderful weekend of workshops down at Klezmer in the country below this one, if you, yeah. But unfortunately, obviously, that didn't happen, so we thought we would make this little performance happen with all of you. But as you might realize, I'm sure all of your musician friends, and actually just most of your friends probably have been telling you, we're all kind of screwed for a bit of work for a while. But some of us have a bit less of a safety net, and some of us have more. So if you can, we sure do appreciate your supporting our cause and, you know, contributing for the little event we're sharing with you now. And that money will not only help us, but also help Klezmer and SCoJeC, the
Scottish Council of Jewish Communities.
Yes.
Who, actually,
And,
who are partners in sponsoring both the tour that we were doing together
And the
then,
Aaron
of course,
Jewish community.
yes, and right.
and the Aaron Jewish.
Yeah.
All of the are.
Aaron?
But anyways, all these organizations have also lost money and are trying to use the resources they have to continue to put Jewish culture events together and continue spreading this culture. So rest assured, it's going to a really good place, and we appreciate everything that you can do.
And in fact, there's SCoJeC got some serious grant money for us to do the tour that we cut short in the middle. So we're courtesy of where that money came from, and I believe at least part of it came from the Scottish government.
Thank
we're
you.
we're doing
Thank you,
this.
Scottish government.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you're watching,
Definitely.
Also, if you haven't watched Nicholas Sturgeon, so he might say it if you were me, give any kind of speech, I recommend it. She's both a wonderful politician, I think, and a great speaker, and a lovely accent to hear people talk about these difficult times.
You know, people around here, the people around here, we're the ones that have the accents.
Right. Yeah. And we do. Except for Sasha, who has no accent.
I have no accent.
Yeah.
In
Well, okay,
any
we have,
language.
I think, just a few more songs left for you.
Yeah.
If you're still there, I don't know. It's been a while, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're going strong.
Yeah.
I was
See,
still
that's the
there.
one good thing about quarantine. No one has anywhere else to go. You know, we can't get kicked out of the venue.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, if we're at shout-outs and while they're getting all their fiddles together, watch Michael Winograd's great quarantine song cycle. He posts a song every day. If you find them
On Facebook.
on Facebook, find them. Let them be your jams for the day. It really helps everybody, I think, who hears them
It does.
through the difficult times and difficult days.
Yeah.
But also this, you know, I think it's quite incredible the amount of wonderful music that is online, arts, classes. We're all trying to create stuff for people to share. We're sharing what we have, other people are sharing. I think it's really incredible to see how people are coping in this difficult situation. This might last for a while, and I really hope that we all stick together for this time and get through it together, and then
Together but separately. Really.
together
We
online
see an
together.
unfortunate number of our friends kind of being like, oh, like it's so unfortunate we have to cancel this concert. I wish we could just do it. Or like, oh, like, yeah, the quarantine, but let's go out and have a beer anyways, or whatever. And it's like,
Don't do that.
take it seriously. Coming from places where there's been quite a serious, I mean, it's been serious everywhere, but really, folks, this is a great time to practice, to read, to,
And enjoy all the new online content.
yeah, and support it. We should thank
man.
Fiona Frank in particular, who organized a lot of this stuff
Fiona.
tirelessly. We really wouldn't be here without
Yeah.
her. For
So guys, do you want to play a
Right.
tune?
yeah, let's play a
Yeah,
tune.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
Fiona Frank of SCoJeC, and
SCoJeC.
I want to thank SCoJeC again.
Yeah, that's the
Scottish,
Scottish,
Scottish Council of Jewish Communities.
It's also just a great word.
And Fiona of SCoJeC, and also of, as I think, the Halton Mill Cooperative Housing, and also Ephraim Borovsky, Director of SCoJeC.
I'd like to thank my parents.
And my parents
Yeah,
too.
I'd like to thank the Tsar of Russia once again for
getting our families out of there.
ultimately getting our parents.
I don't know, my
Yeah.
I would like to not thank the Tsar of Russia for not getting my parents, my family out of there.
Anyway, so here's some tunes in the style of Leon Schwartz, wonderful, when I met him, older Jewish fiddler from the Bukovina region, today on the border of, part of it's in Ukraine, part of it's in Romania, and so here's to Leon, in memory of Leon Schwartz and the Bukovina, the Appalachia of Jewish Eastern Europe.
Yeah. There.
Ja. Dat je een nachtspiel, Kolomeke. No.
Yeah.
Was tut man. Thank you all, by the way. We can't literally hear you. All the thunderous applause coming from out there across the globe. But thank you all for being here. And may we continue.
Man.
Everybody continue to be well.
Yeah, we obviously can't go there and look at all those comments while playing a concert, but we do look forward to seeing them afterwards, and perhaps if we have the quota still afterwards, we'll try and get on there and chat with y'all a little bit, maybe.
Right.
No promises. I do have to say it's been, this is obviously quite a tough and horrible thing for a lot of us. It's, it's like, it's a crazy time, but I think me and Sasha are particularly lucky to get holed up here with Maish and Emily. There's been sort of this funny thing happening. Well, I don't know, it's funny to somebody, but every once in a while, like, it'll sort of get a little bit quieter. It doesn't happen that often. And then I'll pop up with a question. So what about Serbas? Just like kind of getting that chance to ask Maish all these questions, and especially for me, like something like this, getting to play these tunes from Leon, who when Maish was a younger man, he was sitting there asking him the questions, kind of, and trying to get all the details. And now, whatever it is, 30, 40 something years later, Maish has become our elder statesman. And, it's just a real sort of treasure for me to get these moments to talk about it and, of course, to play about it. So thank you for asking those questions when you could. And I hope that we'll have enough answers for the next generation when they come asking us.
Yeah. Amen. This is, it's been a pleasure and a sort of, again, the reasons are a mixed blessing, but having you here. And as
Oh wait, just you wait. It all might last another 18 months, and let's talk about it then. When we're here.
We'll need a few more bottles.
When we're stuck here for the next
if
year.
anyone has a flat to in the somewhere, especially in Crail or the East Nuke to offer, I think Sasha and Craig are looking to
Yeah, we're okay
maybe
not
looking
being in Berlin right
to
now.
be here for a while. But yeah, as I was going to say, it's like my one of the folks I learned from a lot from over the years, way back when, was Ben Basler, who was a Jewish klezmer musician from originally from Warsaw, who in the course of me asking him all kinds of questions, said on several occasions, he said, if I knew you were going to come along 50 years later, I would have taken a better look. And yeah. Then there was something I was talking with some young feller who was, we were talking about this a bunch of years ago, probably about 15 years ago, and we were kind of talking about this generational chain of passing on and connecting over traditions and so forth. And already at that point, I said, "Yeah, we're watching ourselves turning into them, talking about the older generation of immigrant musicians, and we're watching you turning into us." So there's I think you've done more than turn into us, and hopefully you won't turn into us in every way. But,
Oh yeah.
Speaking of turning,
Yeah.
uh,
Meish.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
with the way.
no, I was gonna just do a non sequitur and talk about fish.
Well, I was about to ask
Oh, you were gonna turn
about
around.
turn around
Yeah.
and talk about fish.
Yes, exactly. You're in the background over us. You're looking at one of my family heirlooms, and in many ways it depicts actually two pike, or hechtlich in Yiddish, that and fish, and particularly those fish, those kind of fish, pike or pickerel, as we as the New England variety often are were my family's totem animals, and we also caught them. We in my family, all the gefilte fish that was made for an entire year came from the fish that we caught in Maine, New Hampshire, and around New England.
More
And I
importantly,
don't just mean my family. I don't mean my nuclear family.
sweet
I
or
mean
peppery?
peppery,
Of course.
salted, but and in the fish skin too.
Hab ich mir gegangen, Fischelach kaufen, hab ich mir gegeben, Hecht.
So where are we now?
There's a song you wrote, I believe.
Yeah.
About fish.
That's right. That's right. I wrote this. Yeah.
Know
So
it?
No, wait.
I know it's total vegetarians and vegans out there. We hope you'll look right beneficently, if condescendingly, upon us. Those of us that still
As they always
eat
do.
fish. But I wrote a song about herring a few years ago, some years ago, that is in this. I wrote it like the kind of songs, especially that come out of the Russian Jewish milieu in Odessa. It's a song that weaves back and forth. It completely interweaves Russian and Yiddish, and it's got an English verse at the end that should clue you in. But it is a song. It's a paean to herring, and all the things that we do in kind of celebrating together in community and that go along with having maybe eating a piece of herring, taking a drink, singing, playing music together.
As a native of Latvia, my Baltic heart, when I heard the song for the first time, burst with joy.
And
You
I'll
also
never
have-
forget that moment.
You also have a Baltic heart. Where'd you get yours? Селедка. Herring. Селедка моя, родная, дорогая. Селедка, селедка, я тебя люблю. Даже в миграции ты для меня милая. Я тобой закусываю и про тебя пою. Молоді людечки зоються майхоли, зей за неї мечтає дивить, не було волі. Weil на шнота їдохлі, а їдешке дерцу, сайдне дерфрі, одер бай нах, бай айлюлю, і селедка моя, родная, родная, селедка, селедка, я тебя люблю. Даже в эмиграции ты для меня махаешь, я тобой закусываю и про тебя пою. Еврейскую рыбу, а гендл, а штиклакс можно заказывать с Канады через факс. Но рехталы, а окене, а карпа фила шалаин, мег хапнорум, здесь педарфи, горнлая, селедка моя, родная, дорогая. Селедка, селедка, я тебя люблю. Даже в эмиграции ты для меня милая. Я тобой закусываю и про тебя пою. И надо же не забывать о шнапс от рапашки. Хоть аглазуте припуски вайдер танты вашки. Тогистион хаверин лавиной стринкен лихаим. Пошел ему на гисунтернет, давай же выпиваем. Селедка моя, родная, родная, селедка, селедка, я тебя люблю. Даже в эмиграции ты для меня милая, я тобой закусываю и про тебя пою. И ко всему тому посыхай, хайдыш ридл, гибам кидмит гармошки, навадмит сингл фидл, валих пиназан нарален, мишуги гутов риш, который сочинил такую песню «Вегнифиш». Вот селедка моя, родная, селедка, селедка, я тебя люблю. Даже в эмиграции ты для меня милая, я тобой закусываю и про тебя пою. I aim to praise the humble fish that's graced many a table. Who thought it would become an international Jewish fable? A song of the race, transnational culinary culture. For I know somewhere in Baltic lands there stands a towering sculpture of селедка моя, родная, дорогая. Селедка, селедка, я тебя люблю. Даже в эмиграции ты для меня милая, я тобой закусываю и про тебя пою. Ай, Woof. Yeah.
That's
See,
the fifth
look.
song.
Right.
Okay.
No, no.
So
Well, just a couple more.
just a couple more. I guess we're closing, getting to the, we're getting there. So, as Mish just saying something of a very much of an Baltic experience song, I'm gonna do a very American experience song, but also
Similarly macaronic.
similarly macaronic, or no, it's also in 3 languages, so pretty much. You can't do that. You have to be,
Have to go by a backstage. No, I.
yeah. Well, he knows I'm gonna talk for a while. Well, I wasn't planning to. Anyhow, this is also a song that is semi-traditional. I mean, it's very traditional. It's based on one traditional song and made into another traditional song. There is actually a known author who I can't remember right now.
Oh, I
Like
didn't
some
know that.
informants actually mentioned that they know who wrote this song. This song was written in City College in New York. And one of the informants, also recorded by Ruth Rubin, and I also know that one of the informants was Mark Slobin's father.
Exactly.
But I believe it wasn't him who said that he studied in City College in New York, and for 1 year, all they did is sing that song. And I kind of believe that they didn't do anything else. They just sang this song. This song is about one fellow. Are you back? Would you like to take your...
It's okay.
One fellow who came to America, and as you know, a lot of Jewish people, when they came to America, they would take a more American name. Like your family did what? They went from Zamt.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
My cousins went from Zamt as a last name, which means sand in Yiddish, to Rosenthal.
That makes sense,
Not
right?
exactly more
A
American.
very well. This fellow, whatever his old world name was, he took a really good American name, O'Brien, pretty much as successful as your family. Well, at least it's Anglophone.
We don't
that's
know.
what you're-
Yeah, it's really more of an Irish name, right?
That's what I'm.
It is,
That's the
exactly.
But it's
joke.
definitely not a Jewish name.
That's the joke I'm trying to make.
I guess it didn't work.
Works when there's people. See, Emily's laughing. Emily got it.
Our audience.
Our audience is laughing.
George is definitely laughing.
George, I don't know. George looks at me like I ate all his mice or something. Anyhow, this fellow, he encounters all these different difficulties. He's broke. He's trying to gmilas chesed line, borrow some money. Oh, we should probably do this. This. So he's trying to borrow some money. You'll see what happens with that. He also is quite like says nitovas tzukayan. There is nothing to eat. He also has a daughter named Chaya that he wants to make a chasana for. He wants to get marry her off. He also is interested in finding some wine. You'll see what happens with each of those coveted items.
Sing along, if you can.
O'Brien, canst mir gmilas chesed lion just now. O'Brien, canst mir gmilas chesed lion just now. I'll
та стирпа нехо мені. I'm broke without a penny. I'm broke without a penny, which nobody can deny. Ой, цурис, ай-яй-яй, хоч лек захавакен шарай. Ой, Yeshua's великому самен село, for God is a jolly good fellow. God is a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Oh, Brian, сизни того сукає just now. Oh, Brian, сизни того сукає just now. Manoi maru mana supper, bread without butter for supper, bread without butter for supper, which nobody can deny. Ой, цурис, ай-яй-яй, хоч лек захавекен шурай. Ой, Yeshua's великому самен село, for God is a jolly good fellow. God is a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Oh, Brian, medarf chasene machen chayen just now. Oh, Brian, medarf chasene machen chayen just now. Biti hai koro shomarti, she is way over 40. She is way over 40, which nobody can deny. Ay, tzuris, ay, 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 choć lezik nowek ushrai. Ay, Yeshua's velikomu zamen selo, for God is a jolly good fellow. God is a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Oh, Brian. Give me a glass of yayin just now. Oh, Brian. Give me a glass of yayin just now. Yain v'samach levavonesh, there's none without a blemish. There's none without a blemish, which nobody can deny. Ay, tzuris, ay, 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 which legs it and die. Ay, Yeshua's velikomu samen selo, for God is a jolly good fellow. God is a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Otazai.
That's
Yeah.
Brian.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess we're there. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We have one more song for you, and it's incredibly wonderful that we get to do this. We were all meant to spend all this time together going to these different places, playing for different audiences, and I'm sure a lot of you are right there. And
It's so much better without the audience. God, why don't we do this? No.
no, that's so not
I
true.
love doing this in our living room
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's pretty great.
It is true that
It's the ultimate house concert.
Yeah, I think George. Do you think he might make an appearance?
I don't know. Do we want to?
Yeah.
Let's. Okay. No, George doesn't like this. George, say hello to
Say hello to everybody. This is the famous George.
This is George. George, would you like to?
Okay. No.
No, okay.
He's camera shy.
Yeah, yeah.
What I wanted to say is that it's really wonderful that you all tuned in. If you can, please support our organizations that supported us coming out here and being here.
And us, if we raise enough money, it will also
Support us.
coming to everybody.
Yeah.
And support other people too.
And go buy music online and check out what other artists are doing. There's going to be a lot of new content online, I'm sure. Support people, help your neighbors. Maybe they need to help with shopping or something.
Learn Yiddish.
Learn Yiddish,
Or if you know Yiddish, teach Yiddish.
There's a lot of online Yiddish classes. This is a really great time to go and actually learn some Yiddish.
Interview your family.
Learn Gaelic.
And stay in touch. We want to stay in touch with people. You stay in touch with people. Let's social distance, because this is the responsible thing to do. This is our civic duty to do that, even if we feel healthy and strong. But let's not isolate ourselves. Let's be in touch with people, and let's share whatever we can with other people.
Amen. Amen.
Especially herring.
Actually, this is the kind of the ultimate, non-social distancing. It's social, proximatizing. What do we say?
Distance,
coming
socializing.
together, right? Distance socializing. That's great.
Distance socializing.
Woo!
Yeah, social distance, but with distance socializing. Yes. Amazing.
So this is this last song is a song about a certain kind of social distance. Now, it's a song written by the wonderful American singer, songwriter, and labor organizer Cy Khan, who has written a whole lot of great songs about community and about his and others' work organizing and the struggle for a better life and a better world for all of us. And there are a few songs in which he talks about his Jewish heritage, which is very strong, and the song's in English, so you'll hear the story. It's the song about his grandfather that kind of says it all, and it's appropriately called exactly what we're doing right now, which is crossing the border, or exactly what we're not doing right now.
Or we are.
But we are.
I hear there's
virtually
people from 16 different countries watching us right now.
Right.
So
right, and
we are.
and they've all washed their hands.
This is actually a conspiracy of our mothers to get us to wash our hands finally.
Pit. Lassen sein gesund und stark, and stay together through all this, but at a distance, crossing the border. As a young man, he traveled through Russia with his uncle and two other singers. get him into the army, and he had to escape from there. When the guards that they'd bribed at the border started shooting him and the others, they turned back, but he kept on going, and kept going for 92 years. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. Come go, come go, come go. He booked passage to Nova Scotia, was married in Manitoba. He worked for the Canadian Pacific, carried hod while they built the hotel. Land was $1 an acre, but he was too careful to buy it. So when they found oil on it, he still had the story to tell. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. Come go, come go, come go. Then he moved down south of the border to the mills on the Merrimack River. Pumped gas and kept store for a living, and he raised up his daughters and sons. He'd sit at the head of the table, drinking Hagen pinch bottle whiskey, and I'd wonder how someone so gentle could have done all the things that he'd done. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. Come go, come go, come go. He got old and he lived by the ocean. I went with my children to see him. He looked through the cataracts at him, but I think he saw them just right. We buried him up in New England, and they say that that's home for the wanderer, but home is where the heart is, and my heart's with my Zadie tonight. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. We are crossing the border. Come go, come go, come go. We are crossing the border.
Thank you so much,
Thank
folks.
you so much. Ashaynem Dank,
Sasha Lurje
Craig Judelman,
and Michael Alpert.
and thank you, Emily and
Yeah,
George,
Yeah, thank you, Emily, George,
for letting us do
Fiona.
this.
Thank you to
Thank
the
you
Thank
all.
Karen.
you.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Seid und
you.
gesund und eine gute
Yeah.
Nacht.
Yeah.
You can't turn them all on so somebody see each other, can we?